Welcome back to video. In today's video, we're going to be playing City Skylines. In today's video, we're going to be finally building our campus, or our university campus. This will obviously allow our city to get higher education in terms of for our citizens, and this will just allow for our commercial buildings to stop complaining about not enough high educated people. And also then we can bring in offices and other stuff into the city that require higher education, but this will allow us for that, and also then it also gives another way just to bring in more people. But I just want to do a base university for this. We'll probably do the other two universities that are in the game somewhere else in the city, but I just want to start off with this base university, and I figured that it would fit in well with the general area. And so I just did this whole entire big block here that is made between the main road and the highway. And so I first started off by putting the main building, obviously, because that's kind of needed to zone it all in. And then I just started placing down all the buildings we would need. Placing down groundskeeping buildings all throughout, and then also just generic small buildings to start off with. And then I also put in the big buildings that help benefit our city. And then I am putting in the roads here. But later on I do upgrade these roads to have bike lanes in them. So in this way it just encourages people to do more walking and biking around the campus. And this way people aren't driving everywhere on it. And I just placed in the roads just in this way we could have it to where it's connected with the road network. And also then we could also make it to where students would have an easier way to get around campus if say they need to move stuff. Or just get around quickly, which I did end up putting in a bus route for here, but that I did later on. And I just kept expanding on to our campus. And I just made sure everything looked all nice and cleaned up. Made sure nothing really looked too far out of place. And made sure nothing else looked too ugly too, because obviously they wouldn't want it. Also made it to where all the policies are on here just to encourage people to use it. And obviously with that, that means that tons of people use it, which I did have a bit of a problem here with the road, but I fixed it. It didn't take too hard to fix. I just need to move the building a bit and then change around the roads. But that's pretty much it. And then once I got that in, I started to add in some finishing touches with like parking lots and stuff. And obviously our campus does need parking. If it didn't, we wouldn't really be able to have car dependency as we do in the US, but because we do in the US have car dependency, even though the city doesn't really have car dependency, I am forced to put in parking here. So I'm going to just put in a small little parking lot in this corner of the campus, but the main parking lot will be across from the main building. But I did put that small one in, and I do also put in another smaller one. In another part of the campus, which luckily this building fit in perfectly in the spot that was made by me needing to move that big building there. And then I just kind of squeezed in the rest of the buildings with make sure paths and just putting them along the edge of roads. And as I said earlier, I upgraded all of these to where it has the bike lanes in it. I also put in the median just to give it to where it's less car dependency and makes it to where it's more friendly for pedestrians. Also put in stop signs everywhere, not on the main roads throughout the campus stuff, just to slow down drivers, and also just try and get drivers not cutting through the campus, even though they still are. But I ended up doing a fix of that by adding on another exit to the highway here. But the highway I also then upgraded to have the sound barriers, and then I also put in the concrete median in between it. Which later on I do want to add in their exit off the highway somewhere around here. This will hopefully get rid of the traffic needing to cut through the university, or at least decrease it by quite a bit. And I just pretty much put that in. Then I also got rid of any trees stuck in the medium. And then I also needed to clean up the intersection a bit more here. But that I did in a little bit after. And then obviously we do need dorms on the campus, which this is a very small campus, so probably a lot of the students would live off campus, and so that's fine. We have tons of living space for them in the city, and that's also why I put in the bus routes from our train stations, or the nearby train station to here. But if they are living in the dorms, they obviously need access to them, so I just made 2 dorms along the road, and then I had this extra space back here for another one, so I fit this in, which I actually do fit in 2 here. But I do make sure to also all of them have connections all throughout the buildings to all the places they do need. And there's this little concrete plaza in the back of all of them, and so I just decided to try and fit in to that pathway around the back of all of them. And so I did that for all of them. I also applied that same thought to all the other buildings, although unfortunately we did have this bit of an awkward part where the path didn't exactly come together because the game's weird and you can't have paths too close together or something. But I just ended up connecting it through, and just gives a way to cut through the campus around that one building. And I just added another building here, or another dorm building here, just to maximize the space that we have here, because obviously we have very little space, so we have to maximize the space that we do have. And I just added another little cut through there. And then I just finished it up with some trees just to decorate the place and make it feel more homey, and make it nice for all the students here. And clean up this intersection here too with concrete.
Here we go.
Finally, the very last thing that I did was add in parking for, the main parking for our students and people visiting our students. So if you're coming from out of town, you can go into the ground parking, which is just this ground parking lots that we've put in here. This is more of our temporary parking. But if you're a student or just going to be here for a long time, like multiple days, you can park in the parking garage. Just keep your cars nice and covered, and just make it to where they're more enclosed. And so this way they don't get as dirty, and just it's a much nicer place to leave your car for a longer period of time than just open and ground parking, which is obviously, as I said earlier, would just be for that short-term parking and maybe overflow if it's really needed for our students. But obviously a lot of our students can get around the city with public transit, so they won't really need a car. But even if they do need a car, we do have parking for that. And I added in our parking garage over here just because we need tons of parking for all of our students here. And that is pretty much it. I added in an extra stop on our work bus line, which just brings workers to the industrial area. So I added in 3 extra stops all along the main road of our campus. And this just makes it to where citizens can go from any train station to the campus. But that'll be it for the video. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't, make a like and subscribe, and do see you next one. Bye!